once you get A, Recording in progress.
Is it my network or the meeting hasn't started? It's so quiet.
I got Been placed on hold. Please wait. Good morning, Honorable Minister.
Good morning. Good morning.
And good morning, Chief Whip.
Good morning, sis. Good morning, sir.
Yes, I was just waiting for the indication because the members were less than 15. And we only start when members are more than 15. So we were communicating with the secretary.
Yeah,
but we are now going to start. Yes. Mandy, can you also greet
morning,
us?
Chair.
Good morning, everyone in the platform.
Good morning, Chair.
Morning, Chair.
Good morning, Chair.
Morning. It's not that I didn't want to greet you, but the minister was saying something, so I wanted to assure her that we are on the platform. It's not the problem of the network, but it was the problem of the attendance. But we are now going to start. Mandy?
Good morning, Chair.
Yes, can you check the number of
Yes, Chair, sufficient members
honorable
are
members
now
that are...
present. Sufficient members are now present, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable members, can start with our meeting. The agenda has been flagged there. Item number 1 is opening and welcome. Then the apologies and the adoption of the agenda, followed by the briefing on the establishment of the cooperative bank for women, youth, and persons with disability. Then the discussion. Then the item that follows the discussion, is the postponement of payment briefing and correspondence in this regard. We're supposed to get briefing also from Parmed, but there are some communication to indicate that it won't be possible for them to come and brief the caucus. Then followed by the closing remarks and the adjournment of the caucus. Morning once again. I don't want to waste any time. I'll declare this meeting open. Mandy, can we get the apologies?
Yes, Chair, we received 10 apologies. Those apologies are from Ms. Kivit, Ms. Mafu, Ms. Zulu, Ms. Breed, Ms. Soekers, Ms. Lucas, Ms. Bebby, Ms. Masondo, Ms. van der Merwe, Ms. Visser, Ms. Christians, Ms. Labiskachny, Ms. Boshoff, and Ms. Boshoff, Chair. Also, just a reminder, Chair, that Minister Dlamini Zuma is unfortunately will be leaving, is expected to leave the meeting early.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Mandy. Honorable members, we have 10 recorded apologies. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't allow us to proceed with our meeting. Can I get the hand to move for the adoption of the agenda? I see the hand of the Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, the hand is not to accept apologies, but I'm inquiring. When Mandy is saying the sufficient number is here, and on the platform we are about 38 minus
Yes.
staff members that are here. How many members does this caucus, multi-party caucus, have? There's something where I'm trying to drive to. If I could get that clarity, how many members of the Women's Caucus are supposed to be here? Because that is supposed to be all women of all political parties. There's somewhere where I want to go. If I can get clarity.
I understand you. Mandy?
Chair, according to the joint rules, 15 members must be present in the Women's Caucus meeting for it to co-rate, for the meeting to continue. That will be 15 members out of approximately.
I did not get that.
Maybe.
Sorry, Chair. Sorry.
Yes.
According to the joint rules, for the meeting to co-rate, 15 members, women parliamentarians should be present in the meeting for the meeting to continue. But the Women's Caucus comprise approximately 182 women parliamentarians.
Exactly on that point. Those joint rules are the ones that are making us to be in this state. If out of 182 joint rules are saying 15 is quorum, it correlates, there's something wrong. Hence, it will be difficult for this multi-party Women's Caucus to have members attending. If Gandhi, it is that low, 15, when you have 152, it does not even say 50%. It says 15. No, there's something I want to sponsor, therefore, Chair, that let's submit to the joint rules that they must amend these rules. They must, if we really want this multi-party.
Chief Whip. Hello, Chief Whip. Chief Whip.
We've lost her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm done, Chair.
Thank you. Chief Whip, we didn't hear when you were ending your statement.
No, I was saying, Chair.
Yes.
No, I was saying, Chair, my submission is that we must recommend to the joint rules of Parliament that these 15 must be revisited. Because if we continue with these 15, we'll never have sufficient members. I always take up the fight in the Chief Whips Forum, where I request parties to release women on once a month to attend multi-party Women's Caucus. So if it requires only 15, I'm saying that's crazy. I mean, it does not even talk about half or 50%, or let alone a quarter. It just says 15. So every time you'll have few people. I was just making that observation and submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief Whip. And I think it's going to assist us. Even in the steering committee, we do have the challenge of this joint rule. So I think the Secretariat had that. We are going to make a submission or the recommendation to the Joint Rules Committee. Thank you very much for your contribution, Chief Whip. I see the hand of Mantuli.
Good morning, Chairperson. And,
morning.
And greetings to the meeting, our Chief Whip, the Minister in our midst. You had presented the agenda, so my hand was for the adoption of the agenda. But before I adopted, the Chief Whip raised the matter, of which is very crucial.
Thank you very much, Mantuli. The issue that has been raised by the Chief Whip, I think all of us, we need to have concern on that. But before the Chief would say something, or as women, we're supposed to know that on Thursday, if we're not for a caucus, we go for the multi-party women caucus. But it's like it doesn't get in and sink into our conscience as to what is it that is expected out of us before we are pushed out by the rules committee decision. Thank you very much. Any seconder of the agenda?
Chair, Honorable Maseko Jail, I second for the adoption of the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Maseko Jele. We are proceeding with our meeting. We have invited the Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability to come and brief us on the cooperative bank for women, youth and persons with disabilities. The Honorable Minister of the department, she's here with us. I think she's the one who will be briefing us, or later maybe she can hand it to any officials. Honorable Minister, it's your time.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think in the interest of time, we will not do a slide presentation. But I want to thank you for showing interest in this project that we are trying to do. We decided as a department that women, youth, and persons with disability tend to be excluded by the financial institutions in terms of access to finance. And we wondered what we could do ourselves. And we then thought, why don't we establish a co-op bank? Because a co-op bank, it's in our hands. It's something that we can do ourselves as women, as youth, and persons with disability. It does not depend on anyone else. So having decided that and put it in our priorities, we then asked assistance from people who would know better in terms of how to establish a cooperative bank. We then asked the Cooperative Bank Development Agency to assist us to develop a concept note that will provide information on how to register a women, youth, and persons with disability-owned cooperative bank. Of course, establishing a cooperative bank goes in stages. You first have to establish a cooperative banking institution before you go to the next step of a fully fledged cooperative bank. Working with the agency, they then informed us that it would be better to have an interim steering committee that will drive this because it's something that is outside government in a way. We have to drive it together with other people outside. So an interim steering committee was established, and the chair of the interim steering committee, I hope she has been able to join. She will be the one that will then brief us fully on where we are now, how far we've gone, and how much more we need to do before we get to where we should be. But we feel strongly that we should establish this institution because it will assist women and youth and persons with disability in the long run to have access to finance. Cooperative banks are actually the mainstay of financial access in many countries, even in the developed countries. If you were to look at Germany, you'll find that they have more than 100 cooperative banks that are the ones that give access to local people, financial access to local people. You go to China, there'll be hundreds. But of course, somebody may say, but what about here on the continent? If you look at Kenya, Kenya has one of their cooperative bank is amongst the biggest banks in Kenya. And so it is possible. Yes, it doesn't happen overnight, but it is possible. So that's where we are. So without much ado, I think I will ask the chair of the steering committee to then take us step by step where we started, where we are, where we need to be. Thank you, Chair. If you allow, the chair of the steering committee will take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The chair of the steering committee, you may continue.
Thank you, Honorable Chair of the Caucus. Greetings to Honorable Minister, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, and greetings to all the members in attendance today. We really appreciate the opportunity to be invited to this forum to talk about the bank that is currently underway towards the establishment. And my name is Tandega Ellenson. With me, I have Miss Natasha Malate, who's the Secretariat of the CFI, and I have Mr. Prince Boy, who is the Chief Director in the department heading the Economic Empowerment for Youth, and I am the Chairperson. So in summary, we are presenting the cooperative financial institution that we are currently establishing. So the Minister, Honorable Minister, has covered the approach towards the CBDA by the department to advance the financial inclusion for women, youth, and persons with disabilities. So there are various parties that are taking control of this process, but in essence, there is an interim steering committee that is driving this. So in April, we started with the process of developing the concept, and we met with various stakeholders, and we were assisted by the CBDA, which is the Cooperative Bank Development Agency. And then we submitted all the necessary documents and the concepts for approval by the minister. And then in June, we started with the awareness campaign, which included the public and private organizations, which include women, youth, and persons with disabilities. We saw a great attendance in as far as that is concerned. In addition to that, we ran a survey that would be asking, if people would be interested in the establishment of the cooperative bank. And the survey results that we got said yes, 82% of the respondents were willing and were interested in participating in the establishment of this cooperative bank. 4% of the respondents said no, and the rest of the respondents abstained. So on the basis of the 82% yeses that we got, we then went ahead and started with the preparation to establish the cooperative bank. And the cooperative bank is established on the basis of the common bond, meaning that we had to define and describe the basis on which we are establishing the bank. The common bond, for an example, would say you are grouping yourselves as women, or you are grouping yourselves as labor, or you are grouping yourselves as manufacturer, and so on and so on. So in the case of the bank in under review, we are grouping ourselves as associations. So we have different associations that are holding various members in various sectors, and our common bond is a matter of association. Part of the requirements of the Prudential Authority from the Reserve Bank is to have a 100,000 Rand share capital and 200 members to allow yourselves to qualify as a minimum requirement to establish this bank. And the membership could be in the form of naturalistic persons or juristic persons. And we have both. So another requirement is that you need to demonstrate to the Prudential Authority your capability to operate the bank in as far as your financial capabilities as well as human capacity. And we grouped ourselves accordingly so that we could qualify for that. And there is also another requirement. The Prudential Authority also takes into account the nature and the size and the scale of activities in order for the PA to recognize you as a bank. So there is a little bit of a difference between a CFI, cooperative financial institution, and a cooperative bank. All the requirements are the same, except that the cooperative bank has got higher standards and much higher expectation than the CFI. The aim is to target the poor districts in rural areas and so on. And we are going around creating awareness whilst we are in the process of the application assisted by the CBDA. So far, we've targeted the agricultural sector, the mining, tourism, ICT, construction, and energy. And we are continuing with other sectors because we would like to see participation of all sectors and all groupings that I've named, participating in this. We also selected an interim steering committee, which consists of 15 members. And these 15 members have got a diverse skill set, and they are coming from various sectors of the economy and the civil society. So the steering committee was successfully established in August. And when it comes to possibly us launching the cooperative bank or the CFI, which we use these terms interchangeably, sometimes we are at this point we have made submissions to the Prudential Authority, and we are waiting for the outcome. We propose that, once we have received an indication that we are complying with the Prudential Authority, then we will be discussing the issues of the launching of the bank. So those are the issues. And there was another question which was raised as to who can participate in this cooperative bank by being a member, because this bank is member owned. And in summary, everyone is welcome to join, women, youth, people with disabilities. And we are not exclusive. We're not excluding men per se. They can join because we do want their contribution as well. But our priority is women, youth, and people with disabilities. Government employees are also accepted, provided that there is no conflict of interest, and provided that they obtain approval from the executive authority, from the relevant executive authority, because we are also looking at collaborating with various bodies, with various structures, and with various entities. And as far as the 15-member steering committee is concerned, 12 we have 6 associations represented that come with the 5,000 members. So we have 12 individuals and 3 individuals also coming to support from the government departments, because this is an interim steering committee. And once the Prudential Authority passes or provides the approval, then a proper steering committee will be established. And I did say earlier that the minimum to qualify includes 100,000 rand share capital and 200 member mobilization. And we have met that requirement. I'll show you how we've met. But over and above that, we are expected to submit the constitution, the policies, the business plan, and all other documentation that support, our application with the Prudential Authority. The name of the cooperative bank has been proposed is the South African Innovative Financial Services, and this is because we will be innovative in our operations. We are planning on going digital, but not excluding the people in the rural areas who may not have the devices and connectivity. So we will use a hybrid model. And we have packaged our application as such. And this is the reason why we are calling ourselves South African Innovative Financial Services, which we are shortening it as SAFES. And we have submitted all of that. To date, we have 429 active members, and we have the cash deposits of 257,400, and this exceeds the minimum requirements of 100,200 members. Each member has paid 500 rand as the membership fee and 100 rand administrative fee. And that is for individual members, but we also have entities or companies that have joined, and each company pays 1,000 rand membership fee and 100 rand administrative fee. Our aim or our target is to have 10,000 members with the cash deposits of 5 million rand over the next 12 months, or 12 months actually from the date of approval by the Prudential Authority. So we will be engaging in various campaigns going forward. And in terms of our statistics, roughly, we have all the provinces participating. But in terms of the membership, we have the highest number from Limpopo, followed by the KwaZulu-Natal, followed by Mpumalanga, and then Gauteng. The Western Cape, Northern Cape, and Eastern Cape, and Northwest and Free State have got the mid numbers, but the lowest of them all is at this point Eastern Cape, which means that we need to do a lot of work in campaigning and recruiting. We have 10 members that are youth, 418 members that are women, and at this point, we have 1 member with a disability, which means that we need to do more work also to recruit youth and people or persons with disabilities. In terms of our implementation plan, I'm concluding now. In terms of our implementation plan, we have submitted to the Provincial Authority, and we are hoping that the Prudential Authority will grant us approval by December 2023, of which then we are proposing that we do the launch of the cooperative bank in January, and then we are carrying on with our awareness campaigns in various sectors. But once we have received the approval from the Prudential Authority, we will then start with developing our operating systems. By systems, we are talking people, where we have to hire necessary people, have our necessary IT systems, and have our business processes in place by January. We are hoping to commence our operations as soon as we finish this exercise, likely to be in July 2024. And in terms of our operations, because we are enterprising in nature, we are looking at having the savings and investments, but also we would be granting credit to various sectors, tailor-made according to the sectors. And then in conclusion, we'll be doing the monitoring and evaluation continuously. So we are requesting that various government departments support this cooperative bank. We are requesting that private institutions also support in various formats, or basically everyone in South Africa is requested to mobilize and support this cooperative bank. And more importantly, members that are here today can also join this cooperative bank, because we want it to be inclusive and we want everyone to have a stake in this economy of the country. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Thandeka, for the presentation. Honorable members, we're listening to the presentation from the Department of Youth, Women and Persons with Disabilities. We can now engage the presentation. Thank you very much. I see the hand of Honorable Mananiso, Honorable Lesoma, Dr. Tembekwayo, Honorable Masiko Jele, Honorable Chief Whip, and Honorable Gomba. Okay, over to you, Honorable Mananiso.
Thank you, Chairperson. Greetings to all members on the platform and to the department, the ministry itself. One chair wants to appreciate the presentation. And my first question is with regards to the composition of the entity. I just want to check if it is totally 100% owned by women. And if not, how many do we have as males? And the other thing, it's interesting when the chair was presenting with regards to the targeted sectors by the cooperative. And on our slide, we didn't get such. I think it is important that perhaps we get that particular part of targeted sectors in writing as a caucus, because on slide 10, it is very interesting that the numbers that each province has. And I want to check if in each and every province does the cooperative have profiles of those who are numbered there, and if yes, can they submit to us in writing so that at least we must check the profiling and maybe perhaps inspire those who would want to join the cooperative. The other question that I have is with regards to their program of action or implementation plan. I just want to check with them if whatever that they have actually implemented as a program of action, have they actually implemented it per their target frames as planned, or were there any challenges that they could have envisaged as an entity, so that we learn if within the period that they've been busy trying to be established, there are issues that they've been faced, and how did they deal with those particular issues. However, one is very excited that the planned launch, it's next year, as we'll be celebrating the 30 years of democracy. So it really shows that it is we have traveled as the country in terms of ensuring that the issue of women emancipation doesn't only become a lip service, but it's something that we are implementing and as well at the course and committed to actually deliver it. So that's it from me, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mananiso. Honorable Lisoma.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Good morning to your good self and the Minister and colleagues and everybody on the platform and the presenter as well. Chair, there are a few things you'll forgive me. I might have missed the introductory part of the Honorable Minister. Having said that, I appreciate, I think one also echo Comrade Honorable Mananiso's sentiments in terms of appreciating the thought and the brains behind this economic upliftment of our marginalized communities, in particular women and people with disabilities. One, Chair, what I would like to be just to be taken to confidence, I might have omitted this in terms of my listening capabilities. What is our relationship? If I say our, I mean in terms of the plan, financial regulatory bodies, and also I had the presenter making reference to provincial government and government in general. And of course, I'm not downplaying a great need in terms of government also to support such initiative, but so that one there's a clarity on that. And also I might have not been very skilled in terms of the laws that governs financial sectors, as it were. But is there any act that governs the cooperatives? I know that the current led government have been talking about cooperatives for some time and also will formalize them. But I'm not too sure whether it's a policy issue or it's an act issue, if one can be clarified on that. If I can be clarified on that, one will be happy. But also, we must, just to caution that we must also borrow the lessons from other financial institutions that would have, as the previously financially, economically marginalized communities started and their challenges that end to their failure, as it were, that we must all borrow from that. And I'm sure the department led by the minister then will ensure that it assists this cooperative. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Tembekwayo.
Thank you, Chairperson. Greetings to the participants this morning. I need clarity on aspect of joining the cooperative bank, specifically with reference to us as members of parliament, referring specifically to the issue that the sixth parliament is coming to an end, and some members of parliament are not coming back. So why do we have to ask for permission? And if we ask for permission or approval, who do we ask it from, and why do we have to do that, taking that into consideration the aspect of the end of that thing? And secondly, to say, if we want to join, where is the information available? Are there any forms to sign, and where is the money supposed to be deposited to? That aspect has not been clarified at all. So I'm requesting that more information be provided to us in connection with this aspect. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Maseko Jele.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning to the Minister and the team, and also the Chief Whip colleagues. I think this is a good idea. Let me join those who are appreciating the presentation and the work done by the team with the Minister. We really appreciate this. This is one institution that women have been waiting for a long time, and many corporate cooperatives have even collapsed those who started when the idea was introduced. And I think there will be a need to resuscitate those cooperatives collapse due to the lack of capital. I think such an initiative will assist them to maybe to start and work in order to see to finish that their initiative is accomplished. But the question that I have, Chairperson, firstly, I would want to find out from Gubusis Tandega Guti, was this name, the name of the bank, canvassed with women and in particular in all those cooperatives where the maybe give inputs in terms of what is the bank supposed to be called? Because to me, I was going to say the name, if we can maybe add some native, come with a native name, the very same name, the word innovative, it can be translated. Maybe we come with names like Bubu Khoni or what, or all those, so that we own this bank. It belongs to us, even if it doesn't say women, but it should have a thought. Maybe if that can be looked into, that it should give that ownership in terms of our native or our language. So that we can have an ownership, a sense of ownership on that one. And the last one, I think it was just an issue of finding out in terms of qualification, because it was like this kind of bank, the qualification was pitched very high. And maybe if I understood very well, I wonder why, because this to me should be the kind of a bank that is more developmental, that it has to, even if the qualification can be high, but it has to be lessened somewhere, somehow. I don't know, like the previous speaker said, how the financial sector work in terms of qualifications when it comes to the creation of banks. Maybe I would like to hear more information on that. And then lastly, I think I'm covered on the issue of saying anybody can join, can use the services. Like myself, if I want to use the services of this bank as an individual, not as a cooperative, maybe I can be accommodated. If that can also be, have a comment on that, so that I if I understood properly. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Jelle. Honorable Chief Whip.
Chair, thank you very much. Greetings to all the honorable members on the platform. Welcome to Minister Dlamini Zuma. Having listened to Minister making the overview that a feasibility study has been done, which has informed the concept document and the plan which was outlined by Ms. Tandega very clearly. We appreciate that. On such a good initiative, I think we need more public dialogue on it. To be honest, abantu bonzakele, people have been robbed, and anything that talks about money, and hence you might get a lower response from the Eastern Cape. We have a corridors of push. The recent lesson of VBS, people would be very, very skeptical to join things. But if that is publicized and allow people to ask questions, to engage on it, so that when it starts operating full, everyone understand it very well. The issue of security check. If I come as an entity of some kind, do we have a steering committee? Do you have a security check clearance on who this person is and the money that I'm bringing? Because at times, drugs to ezinye izindawo abantu bafuna uinvesta kanti they are trying to wash that money. The second one is linked to what Honorable Dr. Tajikwayo was saying, that when Sister Andy was saying that we can join, why should we join as MPs, not join as individual women, as we do when we apply and open bank accounts? Should it be should we join as a group? Are we not allowed to have account as individuals? Then lastly, the name is similar to something that I once had. So worse when it comes to abbreviation. I think Sister Ndeka was saying is Sasfin. I want to support that. Can't we be creative ngegama elizaba user friendly, sikwazi ukulithetha esaziluma amalwimi ngosasifini lona sasifini or sasifini? So is it done, and is the deal done now that they can no longer be engagement on this? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chief Whip. Honorable Gomba.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Good morning to beautiful ladies. Honorable Chair, my first question here is about the existence, the recognition of the resistance of this financial institution that is envisaged to start. Is it known by the financial government financial authorities now? Is it known? And also, does it comply with all the standards that are put in place? And secondly, Honorable Chair, I'm getting worried. I also want to echo my words with regards to fears that I have with the previous experiences that we had with the VBS Bank, because this actually made us to be very, very careful, particularly when this matter is brought to us as Parliament. We are not just a structure outside Parliament, but we are part of Parliament of the Republic of South Africa. Immediately when we encounter problems in terms of monetary issues like the VBS, the whole Parliament is compromised. So I want to make sure that, have we exhausted all the structures of government to ensure that this is a very good initiative now? Did you get legal advice from institutions of government that are saying, yes, this can be brought to government, even though it's a bank, but is it a recognized thing by government itself? That's my best worry. That's my biggest worry. And also, Honorable Chair, taking into consideration that challenges that women are having out there, yes, I do believe in women economic emancipation, but I don't think that this is the only way that we can liberate women from economic frustrations. We need to also look at the social welfare of women, which I see as going very slowly onto such issues. So I would really also request that the minister also concentrate and assist women out there with very, very, very big, serious issues that are really facing them socially as well. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Gomba, for your contribution. Honorable Tobias. Honorable Tobias Tandy. If she's not there, I'll call Honorable Majake.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning to all. Good morning, Minister. And I also want to just welcome the presentation. Very good initiative. But what I think is important, I think it was actually raised by Comrade Tembekwayo, is that we need to understand clearly the technicalities. And the sentiment that was actually also echoed by Comrade what's her name? Nomathemba. Comrade Nomathemba uzongishaya ngikhohle igama lakho. Of the name, I think we need to actually look at that also to see to what extent we can actually give it a name that gives us the ownership, so that it actually defines clearly what the bank is all about. And there has been such banks that have been established throughout the world. What comes to my mind is the Grameen Bank of Bangladesh, and the model of which was actually, I think, adopted by 64 countries. I think we need to maybe also look at how it operated, because it ended up really managing to empower businesses of about 9.5 million women. We need to go and look at their model and try and find out how it has actually worked to the extent that it became successful, what the kind of challenges that they've actually had. But also what is important that I need to know is about ownership of the bank, because when we work as women, we should actually understand that we must actually promote women in business. If there are women who want to become part of the ownership of the bank, then we should actually then allow it to happen, whilst at the same time, probably the bank itself is going to actually then help to empower women who are actually trying to develop themselves. So basically, I think also what we need to do is to not forget about all other dimensions of empowerment of women. Coming from the 53rd Conference of the African National Congress, there's a resolution that relates to development of women or economic development of women. That's about establishment of project management units in trade and business related departments. And I think we need to request the ministry to develop interest in looking at that resolution, also to assist us in terms of helping to drive the process, so that by the end of the term, we might have actually managed to make a lot of movement in terms of establishing these project management units in those trade and business related departments, to the extent that we might begin to even start counting the number of women who have successfully managed to come into business. But I do actually once again want to appreciate the initiative, but also to say it shouldn't just be something that gets established and then it disappears. Because in South Africa, we are told we have the Women's Development Bank, but you don't feel it. And I'm hoping even with this bank now that we're talking about today, once it takes off, it's not going to disappear somewhere. You hardly know how to catch it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Majake. Honorable Matuba.
Chair, you don't hear me. You still don't hear me.
For now, I do.
Do you mind if I proceed?
I don't mind. You can, Honorable Matuba, you can wait for a while, then I take Honorable Tobias.
Sorry, Chair, about my network. I've got a bad reception in Wynberg. First, let me
No
thank...
problem, you can proceed.
Yeah, let me welcome the presentation. It's giving me goosebumps to see that finally we have managed to bring something together to establish a cooperatives bank. However, it is very important that we go through the process of the Prudential Authority for this cooperatives bank to qualify. In terms of what is regarded as a significant financial institution, because that's what it's going to be a CFI. And for this CFI to be financial viable, it will need to have more resources than what is being canvassed now. Therefore, I want to make a suggestion that it must go to the financial services that government provides in terms of your enterprise development agencies to get more funding, because it will need to have a guarantee.
Tobias, can you hold for Honorable Majaki? Can you please switch off your mic? Honorable Majaki. Okay, Honorable Tobias, you can proceed. Honorable Majaki, you can switch off your mic, please. Proceed, please.
Thank you, Chair. So that it can canvass more funding, and also to get training from the Prudential Authority to be able to be compliant. And also what we need to address here, VBS was not a bank. I mean, VBS was a mutual bank. It was not a cooperatives bank. So we should be able to make a distinction between a cooperatives bank and a mutual bank. It made mistakes that it assumed a role of a commercial bank. And I don't think this one will do that. It will have specific entrepreneurship development projects, and it needs to be helped. And it needs to find space where it can be able to canvass support with more women to enroll and participate in it. But it will need to be piloted properly and get support for it to kick off. And there are many institutions of government that will be prepared to fund it for it to run. So I welcome this initiative, Chair. It's a very brilliant idea to finally have a cooperatives bank led by women to be able to sustain women and enterprises. And it must be joined by as many women as possible. And this information must go to provinces, and workshops must be held with many women in provinces for them to affiliate, to fund, but also to benefit from this initiative. But to go through the Prudential Authority and meet the fiscal regulations for it to operate accordingly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Matuba. Honorable Matuba, are you still there?
Yes, Chair, I am there. My apologies, Honorable Chair. Good morning, colleagues, and good morning, team, Department of Women, Youth, and Persons with Disability. Chair, let me first appreciate the presentation that has been made here. One will really appreciate that if you have banks that can set high gender standards for other economic institutions, and this work could shed light on how monetary authorities can prove their performance. It has been a dream for all women of South Africa to have a women's bank. Of course, we know we still have challenges as women in the country regarding the struggle for equal pay and progression. We know that it's a challenge, and if you really empower women, if you really educate women, you educate the nation. I'm also of the view that, Chair, it will be quite interesting if you can also expand the bank. Many of us are frustrated where we are with the current financial situation or banking situations in our country. One is so highly challenged because even if when you look at those who are beneficiaries in those banks, majority are women. We are just people transacting, making money for other people, not for the entire nation. But if we can have sort of a cooperative bank, I think it will assist majority of people. Chair, in this instance, there are two things that I may want to share with the committee to check whether as and when we appreciate the presentation. My apologies if it has been answered. Pardon me, Chair. I do have a problem with. I don't think it's a cell phone. It's a network where you have electricity. You also face with the electricity challenge with the network challenge. Whether is this cooperative bank prepared to work with other banks? I know for the fact that there's a bank that is existing. It's a development bank of women in South Africa. How far have they played a role? Have they made the inquiries? Are there any ways or means of cooperation? If there's any, if there's none, how are we going to interact with them? If one can get clarity on that. And also in South Africa, there are women who are in many stokvels, who do have their Motselisano, possibly by January, December. It's the big thing of Bomatselisa. They do their things. Whether have they approached those women to come and join? I know they have money. They don't have peanuts. Some of them, they have money. They are not like me with their peanuts. They do have money, and that's where one can see the economic activities there and how do they use monies. When I was looking at other banks in other countries, I agree with, I don't know whether it's with Comrade Tobias. She spoke about other countries, the challenges that are there. But in our case, when you look at the policy issues, one of the barriers again for women to have their own bank accounts, especially those ones who are married, there are legal complication in terms of the marital status of a particular person. So that you can come and bring more and more documents, and if you divorce, then what becomes an issue around these issues? Whether the committee has looked into that, whether are we not going to have challenges with regard to that? If there are if there are going to be challenges with regard to that, then what then becomes how do we look into our laws or policy positions going forward as a movement? And lastly, Chair, there was a BRICS summit which was in our country last month in August. Yes, it was in August. Where is there any groundwork that has been done to can see and analyze the role that can be played by this women bank going forward, using, of course, our status as a country to forge ahead relations with other women in the BRICS industry or in the SADC region. That would be my submission, Chair. My apologies earlier on. I'm technologically challenged, but not historically challenged technologically. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see the hand of Honorable Ramado.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Mine is just a question, but let me first join those who are appreciating the presentation. And my question, or what I want to check with the department, is that are they having a relationship with SANACO? I'm raising this because SANACO is an organization that deals with the cooperatives in the country, South African National Cooperative Organization. So that's my question. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. I think we have exhausted all the hands. 10 speakers deliberated on the matter. There are questions that has been raised. I do believe the department, the minister and the interim committee will assist in responding to all the questions that has been raised by honorable members. Honorable Minister.
Okay, thank you very much. And thanks for all the inputs and the encouragement that we have received from members. I won't take too many questions, but I just want to explain that, because there was a question that kind of asked whether we had followed the procedures, we're following procedures and so on. We right at the beginning, I did say that we decided to commission the Cooperative Banks Development Agency, which is an official agency for establishing cooperative banks legally. So we commissioned them because we did not want to make mistakes. The reason that the person they gave us is not here is because she is not at the level that can address Parliament, but she was given to us by the agency to work with. So she's been working with us and she's still working with us. So we're not just doing this from our own head, knowledge, but we are guided by a legal entity that is there to guide people who do want to establish cooperative banks. So I want to assure members that we are not just doing this as fly by night. We are following the legal precincts. And that's why we did not want to do it on our own. We commissioned the agency to work with us. It's not a government bank. It's our initiative, but it's not going to be a government bank. So it's going to be a cooperative bank owned by the people who would have registered and paid their 5 rands plus 600 initially to get to be the shareholders, because that 500 rands, as far as I know, buys you at least a share in the bank. So I just wanted to assure members that we are following the law very strictly. And I do agree that maybe we should do more public discussions to assure people. But the ones that have joined have been engaged and they've understood, and that's why they are coming. But I accept the counsel that we should go out, because there have been issues around things that involve money, and people might be skeptical. But as I say, we engage people, and everyone who comes in because they've understood and they are ready to be a shareholder in the cooperative bank. But I will leave the other questions to the team that we are here with. But I just thought I should really assure members that we are following the law, not just the spirit, but the letter of the law. Thank you. I don't know whether Mr. Boy wants to add anything before we go to the chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Is there somebody who wants to add?
Yeah, no, good afternoon, Honorable Minister and honorable members of Parliament. I'm sitting currently with the chair here, but we've agreed that the chair will therefore be the primary respondent to some of the questions being asked. If should there be any further support, then I'll quickly chip in after she has spoken. Thank you. Over to you, Chair, through honorable members.
Thandeka.
Thank you, Honorable Blankulu, through you, Chair. I'll just highlight quickly some of the issues that have been raised and just try to respond. From Honorable Mananiso, yes, just to reiterate, as Honorable Minister was saying, the bank is a member-owned. It's owned by women, by youth, and by people with disabilities. So if you buy a share, that means you are a member, and it also means that you are an owner of the bank. And this is one of the ways where we're making banking accessible to people, but also we are bringing the means of ownership to people in terms of that share. So the targeted sectors that I've mentioned, it's not an exhaustive list. We are targeting all sectors of the economy, and we want all people to participate in this cooperative bank. In terms of the implementation, as to whether we've been implementing accordingly, or whether we've met, our milestones in terms of our implementation plan, yes, definitely we have met, and we believe we've also exceeded our implementation plan expectation. We are right on track, and we are quite happy to report that everything is going well so far. So the 30 years will find us in a very good space, as Honorable Mananis was saying. Honorable Suma, the relationship between the financial regulation bodies and the bank, definitely, we are operating according to the laws of the country, and this is the reason why we are submitting our application to the Prudential Authority, because we are expected to comply and meet the requirements of the regulatory bodies. In terms of the provincial representation, we are going to all provinces of the country, and we will make sure that all provinces participate in this. All women, youth, and people with disabilities in all provinces are expected to participate, and we shall do the financial literacy and some form of education so that people are aware of what they're getting themselves into, and that so that they make a conscious, informed decisions. And in terms of the laws, I'll address this once off because many members asked for this. In terms of the acts related to what governs us, there are many laws that govern the cooperatives in the countries and the banking sector and the financial sector. But I just want to highlight that there is a Cooperatives Act of 2005, which governs us as a cooperatives as a starting point. But in addition to that, there is a Cooperatives Banks Act of 2007, which governs now the banking side of the cooperative. And over and above that, we have other laws, including financial related regulations, the NCR and so on, that will be governing us in the financial and the banking sector. Relating to the question from Honorable Dr. Tembekwayo as to how members join, through the ministry, we shall make information available, and the ministry will assist us in ensuring that information gets to members as to who must join, what are the requirements of joining, and so on. Over and above that, what are the products that the bank is offering to its members. So that information and the forms and where the banking details of where the money is paid shall be provided through the ministries. Honorable Maseko Jele talked about the name as to whether can't we add, the native name, or consider or review the name that we have currently, the SAFES, which is the South African Innovative Financial Services, and we shall take that into consideration. I shall go back to the steering committee, which is the interim board of the bank, and I shall present this matter of the name that has been raised. We, considering the fact that there are 12 official languages in the country, so we shall consider all of those. In terms of the qualifications and the fact that this is pitched high as a bank, we are making sure that we are meeting the requirements of the Prudential Authority. And this is the reason why we are encouraging the support from different government and associations and structures to support this, so that this be a developmental bank in a true sense of a developmental bank. But I'm also happy to report that we are, out of the standards that have been tabled by the Prudential Authority, so far we have been able to meet the requirements. We are aiming to operate in a very high professional standard environment as a bank, so that we provide that the service, the high level service to our members, also the value to our members, so that members do not feel that they are moving from commercial banks to us and they feel that the service is of substandard. So we are trying by all means to make sure that we maintain high standards as the cooperative banks, starting from the way we conduct ourselves when we are making this application. Honorable Majordina mentioned the fact that we need more public dialogue in as far as this is concerned, because people have been robbed. Yes, we agree, and we are aware. Even when we went to the ground, we've received so many submissions, people crying about having been robbed by various entities and fly-by-nights and so on. But we are making sure that we engage and we educate and we provide that security and comfort to our members or potential members, that when they join, they're not going to experience what they've experienced in other organizations. But also the issue of the people that are seated in handling people's monies in the form of the steering committee and so on. We are being vetted by the Prudential Authority. It's more like probity kind of vetting, and it's a serious vetting. And every member that is seated there that will have an oversight role or an operational role in as far as handling people's monies is concerned, we will be a person that is passed or has received the clearance by the Prudential Authority. That process is currently underway. Members are being vetted. As far as who can join as women, not as So members of parliament will join as women. So my submission is that you will not necessarily join as members of parliament, but you will join as women because the bank is for women, youth, and people with disabilities. So you find an association which you can join through, or make sure that your association is there, whether it's a Stokvel association or whatever association. We will be accepting of associations, so you can join as individuals, but through an association. We are considering the issue of the change of we will consider the issue of the name as well. We will review as raised. Honorable Gomba, the recognition of the existence of the bank, I think we will liaise with the ministry in as far as that is concerned, but I can assure you that in as far as compliance is concerned, in as far as the banking and financial sector is concerned, that has been taken care of. In as far as the legal advice and the structure is concerned, that has been taken care of. And in as far as the products that we are offering our clients, that is awaiting approval by the Prudential Authority. We're making sure that our programs are meeting the financial inclusion of all of our members. Honorable Dr. Pilane Majake, yes, thank you so much for raising the issue of the bank in Bangladesh. We shall look at that as well and consider your input and see how we can incorporate the lessons learned from that bank and see what we can do better learning the lessons from that bank in India, in Bangladesh. Also, we will consider all other dimensions as you mentioned. Honorable Tobias, you mentioned the process of the PA and the training from the PA so that we are compliant. Yes, we are receiving training. Even now, we are receiving training from the CBDA, which is a Cooperative Banking Development Agency, which has the mandate to train and make sure that people who are establishing cooperatives, banks are trained, are informed, and so on. So we are currently undergoing the training. Thank you very much. And we shall make information available, and we shall make workshops and campaigns. Honorable Matuba, in terms of the performance, so far, everything that we have set as far as our targets are concerned, we have been achieving. We have met our targets, both qualitatively and quantitatively, and we are making sure that we will continue to maintain that standard. We note the matter that you have raised related to the networking versus cell phone versus the electricity challenge or energy challenge. We shall consider that, and we shall look more into that matter. In terms of the collaborations, we are collaborating with as many bodies as possible so that we include everyone. We are, though, noting issues of compliance and barriers in participating in this, particularly when we talk about women and their marital status and the issues of policies and laws. I think we shall work with ministry in as far as that is concerned. We are working with BRICS as well. The BRICS Women Business Alliance is one of our member association, and we have covered the groundwork in as far as that is concerned. And Honorable Ramadwa, we note your matter of Sanako, and we shall consider they are an association and therefore they qualify, and we shall look more into that. And all the matters, I think I've covered all the matters, Honorable Chair, but if there's anything else that I've omitted, I think it can be covered perhaps through the ministry. We shall provide information that will get to Parliament through the ministry in writing, and then the ministry then shall assist us in making sure that information gets to members. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Maybe I'll just add one last thing. There were some comments around that this is not the only way of empowering women, and we must deal with other social issues. We were asked by Caucus to and talk about the cooperative bank and not about other issues. We are aware that there are other ways of dealing with women. Some of the social issues are dealt with by other departments, some are dealt by us, but here we were just asked to come and talk about the cooperative bank and not about the other issues. For instance, we were in Durban maybe two weeks ago with talking about, again, the empowerment of women, economic empowerment of women with Work Corner. So it's not like we are saying this is the only thing, but we were asked to only present about the cooperative bank. Thank
you. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And thank you very much to Ms. Thandeka for your responses. Honorable members, I can allow if there are hands to make follow-ups. But so far, I don't see any. The minister was saying is that when the department came to present to the Caucus previously, on her overview, she did mention the issue of a cooperative bank. And we agreed as a Caucus that they must come present to us because it was just, she was just passing to say, as a department, we are busy coming up with or establishing the issue of a cooperative bank. And we say as a Caucus that we would like to know more about that. That's the reason today they are here. And if there's something that the Caucus feels that we need the department to come and present to the Caucus, then I think as this Caucus, we can agree and we'll just let the department know, then they will come and present to us. But for today, it's the Caucus that agreed that the department must come and brief us about the cooperative bank for us to understand more or to know what's happening on the ground as far as the cooperative bank is concerned. Thank you very much. Honorable members, I see the hand of Honorable Gomba and Honorable Tobias. These are the two hands for now.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Just a follow-up question. My question here is to ask about the shareholders' agreement. Is it signed upon paying the fee that is the fee that is 500 plus 100 rent, and also the board of directors? Is it already in place or is still going to be in place? Because we are not told about who are the board of directors members there. And I think it is important for us to have that understanding along those lines. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tobias. Honorable Maseko Jeli.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is outside, it's something else, but in relation to what we talked about earlier. So can I just allow this to pass, and then when you are about to close, you can just give me that one. I thought that's
okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Can you respond to the issue of to the issue of shareholder agreement and the?
I'm sorry, it was my network. I don't know what's happening here. Chair, do you copy me?
Are you back? Oh,
yes,
all right.
Chair, it's my network. No, Chair, I want to insist on one point. Government must deliberately fund a cooperatives bank for it to succeed, to change the economic commanding heights. We must not be apologetic about that. There need to be a budget committed specifically from the National Treasury to help a cooperatives bank, especially for women to pick. And that avenue must continuously be explored to a point where we can say, for us to be able to allow a balanced participation in the economy, we must have specific programs that government institute to make sure that we change the balance of forces. That's the only point I wanted to make. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Sister Ndega, can you respond to the shareholder agreement?
Yes, thank you, Honorable Chair. In as far as the membership is concerned, on payment of 500 rand plus 100 admin fee, 500 rand buys you 1 share, so you get a share certificate. And if it is an entity that is joining, meaning not a natural person, you pay 1,000 rand plus 100 rand administrative fee, and you get a share certificate as a member to show that you are owning or you are part of owning this bank. So, for an example, if chairperson were to join and pay the 500 rand plus 100, which is 600, she would get a share certificate in the name of Honorable Bilankulu, which shows that she has joined and she is a member. That is how we certify our membership. And the board of directors, the interim board has 15 members who come from various parts of the country and various sectors. We have the business people, the lawyers, we have the researchers, we have all sorts of people from different parts of life. They are the interim board. This is just to meet the minimum requirements of the Prudential Authority. And once the approval has been granted, then a proper board, which will serve for a period of 3 years plus 3 years renewable, will then be appointed as a set and sitting board, together with the board subcommittees that will serve on this. So I think, yeah, I've covered the questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, sorry. I think now we have come to the end of our questions to the department. Honorable members, I think we need to proceed. Can we allow the department to leave, unless if there's something maybe that the minister would like to say for now? Honorable Minister, do you have something to say before I release the department?
Thank you very much, Chair. No, except to thank the leadership of Caucus for having invited us to come and talk about this initiative, because I think this will help in terms of members who are interested, also spreading the word about this initiative. We just want to express our appreciation. Thank you.
And we appreciate your presence, Honorable Minister, and your department. Thank you very much. Honorable members, can we release the department and proceed with our meeting?
Thank you, Chair and members.
Bye. Honorable Michael, you said there's something that you want to say. I don't know whether I give you now the time to speak or it will be after the item that follows.
Are you talking to me, Chair?
Yes. You said you want to say something. I was checking
I'm Maseko.
whether you want
I'm
now.
Maseko Jele, not Makwanisha, Maseko Jele. Thank you, Chair. On a lighter note, no, Chair, I wanted to add on earlier on the discussion of the issue of the quorum, and then also I thought that maybe let me add the issue of proposing that this meeting today was very, to me, was very, I don't know, constructive and assisted us to think or to focus on one point and deal with it in all corners until one feels that is satisfied. I've realized that when we come to the committee, we normally bring more than sometimes 2 or we're having 3 presentations, and all of them, you find that we want to participate, but because of there are lots of them, we find that maybe our contributions maybe are not in a manner that as assisting in terms of going forward. So I was going to propose, Chair, that I think if we can also, on top of the issues that we are going to look into them in making this committee work properly and in a manner that it gives good results to us also. We can also look into the issue of the presentations that we bring in a day when we have our meeting. Thank you, Chair. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you very much, Honorable Masiko Jail. I think that can assist if honorable members are consistent in attending meetings. Because we can agree today you are bringing in this and no, only to find that in our next meeting you are not there and somebody will bring in something of which we're supposed to be part of the meeting, all of us as women in Parliament. But we're not doing that. Maybe from today we'll do introspection and check as to why are we not attending this caucus, all of us. If we think it really matters to us as members of Parliament or as women in Parliament. Thank you very much. The following item is the one that we're supposed to receive the briefing from Parmed. Parmed once come to the caucus and present. And as a caucus, we agreed that they must come up with having the full reports because there were questions that has been raised by honorable members that we felt that they must come back in order to clarify. So we agreed that the Parmed should come back to present. They were supposed to come in our last meeting. They said the principal, whoever is not there to come and give the presentation, they will come today. But yesterday, the secretariat received the message that they won't be able to come. They can only present maybe to the delegation on the 28th of September at the City Lodge Hotel, not in Parliament. So I think as this caucus, we need to agree whether we want to have delegation that will go and meet with Parmed representative, or Parmed must come and present to us as the caucus in Parliament. Thank you, honorable members. I see the hand of Honorable Sharif. Honorable Maseko, is it your legacy hand or?
Oh, my apology, Chair. My apology, the legacy.
Okay. I see the hand of Honorable Sharif. And then Honorable Piri, Honorable Tembe Kwayo, Honorable Matuba. Honorable Sharif.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I hope I am audible. Chairperson, a couple of things. The first one is that it was a recommendation by the Multi-Party Women's Caucus that Parmed come and account to the Multi-Party Women's Caucus on the benefits, or let me rather say the lack of benefits that women have under Parmed. Chairperson, the reason why we brought this to the Multi-Party Women's Caucus is, one, because it affects women parliamentarians, and number two, it affects women parliamentarians in a really big way. Just to brief the full Multi-Party Women's Caucus just a little bit, the issues around the lack of benefits around contraception, the lack of benefits around maternity benefits, the lack around emergency contraception, the lack around HPV vaccines, all of these things affect us as women parliamentarians. It affects our health on a daily basis. And the fact that Parmed has a higher amount for optometry than it does for gynecology visits is a massive concern. In that meeting, when Parmed came to the Multi-Party Women's Caucus Steering Committee, they admitted that their benefits are outdated, and it doesn't take into consideration the amount of young women that has now come into Parliament. And this is a big problem. And this, I do believe this is an issue for the Multi-Party Women's Caucus. Our mandate is not only to look at issues facing women externally, but also to look at issues facing women internally and in Parliament. And these issues around Parmed directly affect a lot of women in Parliament. And I think that for Parmed to now call us to a meeting and determine the venue, determine the agenda is unacceptable, Chairperson, especially because we have a recommendation that they are to come and report to Parliament. The Multi-Party Women's Caucus is an extension of Parliament, and we have the constitutional right and the constitutional mandate to summon any private or public entity before us to give us answers and so that we can make recommendations for them to implement. So I think that this move by Parmed is that they don't want to account, or it seems very suspicious that less than 24 hours before the meeting is supposed to sit, they pull out and tell us that we must come to them on the 28th, on the 28th of September, when they were recommended to come to this meeting. And so, Chairperson, whether the Multi-Party Women's Caucus agrees to summon them to before us so that we can hold them accountable with all women, or if we send a delegation, at the end of the day, Parmed needs to change their benefits so that women benefit. And it just doesn't make sense to me that you can have a higher threshold for optometry than it is for gynecology visits. I'll leave that for now, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Piri.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning. Greetings to yourself and the leadership in the platform. I'm fully covered by what Honorable Sharif has just said. You know, Chair, I think the condition of them saying we must come and send a delegation, you know, the bad part will be when that delegation goes there and they come back and report to the multi-party caucus and we have more questions. It will be the same to say, I remember we are not Parmed and we might not be having more answers of what will be questioned. But I think it's proper, Chair, for them to avail themselves to our next meeting so that we must have a direct conversation with Parmed rather than to send delegation. That will make us fight amongst ourselves. But you can still accept their invite and send a delegation because we have the leadership of multi-party caucus. You can go there, but not on the basis that they must not come back and make a presentation on or respond to our outstanding questions that we have as members of Parliament, and we are members of Parmed. So let me leave it there. I think Sharif has just covered me. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Matua.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think I'm being covered by the first and the second speaker. However, my view, Chair, is still that let Parmed come to us. It is us through a resolution of this caucus that says they must come and account on certain issues. Let's not confuse issues. Let them come. We all have questions for them. I don't think we'll find time to sit down and consolidate our questions. We want to ask questions directly and get direct answers from them. For what they are doing now, it's an insult to women of Parliament of South Africa. Let them come. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Matuba. Honorable Dr. Tembe Kwayo.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm also in agreement with the previous speakers to say we are not going to turn things around and allow them to dictate terms to us. They are coming to us, not the other way around. So there is no possibility of sending any member of our committee to go to that place of them on the 28th. No one is going there. They must find time to come back to us and talk to us, especially because some of us are forced to be affiliated to a very exorbitantly expensive medical aid. It's against our choice. So this time we don't give it. We don't have to give them a space to breathe with us. They are coming to us and no alternative. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Gela.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Greetings to the leadership in the platform and all women. Chair, I want to support the view that said they must come to us so that they answer questions that we have regarding the Parmed Chairperson. But also, Chair, there's something that I want to suggest, Chair, as we are also talking about women health issues. If Chair can allow me, maybe as an announcement later, I don't know, Chair. I'll hear from you.
Maybe you can go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to suggest to the multi-party women caucus that as we are about to go to a constituency period, we must encourage young girls or visit the schools and also talk about HPV vaccine, which is human papilloma vaccine that was given to primary girls in schools, particularly in grade 4. This program was started in 2014. Now it's 9 years. And also next year we'll be celebrating 10 years, which we give us at least to engage and also encourage young girls at an age of 9 years. But also, Chair, we know that this program is starting February and also in October. But also, Chairperson, I think it's also preventing and protecting girls against the cervical cancer in future. That I wanted to say, Chairperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for sharing this crucial information. Honorable members, I don't see any other hand, but the feeling of the House is that Parmed must come back to the caucus to address them, because there are a lot of questions that honorable members need to raise to them. For the issue of delegation, it's not going to work. I believe the Secretariat, it's a recording thing. So we're still going to pursue Parmed to come and meet or give the briefing to this caucus, and also give responses to some of the issues that has been raised, because it's not just coming for briefing, but there are questions that has been raised, and they promised that they will come back and respond to the caucus. So I think with this one, we are agreeing. I don't think there's somebody who is against this, because all the hands that has been raised were to say, or were agreeing to say, Parmed must come back to address this caucus. Thank you, honorable members. I don't know if there's something that maybe honorable members want to share before we close our meeting. Do we have any announcement or something? If not, I think mine will be the one of urging members, honorable members, to attend the caucus. The issue of attendance, I don't think it must come from some other people except us as women in Parliament. The manner in which we are attending the caucuses of our political parties, the manner in which we are attending the portfolio committees, I think should be also the way in which members are attending the committee or this caucus. If we do have the interest of our women, and we are aware that we are there on behalf of these women of our country. So please, honorable members, let's make sure that this Thursdays that has been set aside for the caucus, let's attend the caucus, please. And thank you very much. Mandy, is there something
No, Chair, that was the last agenda item.
And thank you very much, honorable members, for those attending every day when there is this caucus. Please, let's keep the standard and make sure that we come in order to talk about the issues of women. Let's call it a day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you,
Honorable
Chair.
members. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahlengwa.